All right, family. We live once again. It's on with the general. We got a powerful discussion, a nationalistic, international discussion. We're going to be talking about will the United States leave NATO, and this is necessary for Black people to have a discussion in this because since you paying all that damn for the missiles and to drop down over there in what's that, Ukraine, and all your money going over there to Ukraine, you should be very much in the issue and discussing. Yeah, we need to lead NATO. Yeah, we tired of them sending our money all over there to Europe, and if it stay here, maybe we'll have a better chance of getting some access to it. If it's here, you see, that ain't but you would think so. You would think so. If it's more money to spend in America, then maybe we can get some access to some of that money. Uh, going over there to good or bad, good or bad, good or bad. Your allies supposed to show up. You see, your allies supposed to show up. Ukraine is not a war for America, for our dollars to go. We ain't got and there's nobody over there that we concerned about. You see, what's the name or whatever, Zelensky. We ain't care about no damn Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. Ain't got nothing to do with Black America at all. Ain't got nothing to do with us. Yet and still, our dollars go over there into the hands of Zelensky so he can fight a war. For what? For what? We fighting a war right here in America. Poverty. You see, drug epidemic. The shrinking of the Black family. We fighting a war over here right now. We got to get ourselves together. So we need all our dollars to go towards the initiatives of Black America. We can't have our dollars going over the seas. And NATO don't, really show this true color. And they did, you seeing tribes and nations pull apart today. You seeing tribes, and it's a new world, and people have to understand that. And there's really no allegiances right now. There's really no allegiances right now. Everybody is going for broke, and it's some loose allegiances, but ain't no real. That's right. We understand that. We understand that. We understand that. We understand the United States run NATO, but at the same time, we also understand that also that there's another agenda as far as the leadership of Europe bowing down to the leadership of the United States, which they want to do, but they don't want to do because they used to being the head of the European house, what Caucasians on the planet, and so Trump trying to make them bow all the way down is what he trying to do, and they not wanting to do it, but but that's a war between Caucasians that have nothing to do with Black people, but nevertheless, they didn't go to war. I tell you that. They didn't send no ships. If they really ran it, then why wasn't no ships up in that damn that Persian Gulf? Yeah, they run some aspects of it, and some aspects of it they don't. That's right, family. That's right. Some aspects of it they don't. You see, because some of them European nations, they arrogant, man. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they come from an ancient, compared to America. They look at America as a little thug nation, which it is, but they bigger thugs. See, they thinking they better than, and they all Caucasians. Don't get it twisted. You see, but there's a war going on amongst the European peoples, because it's a shift in the power. You see, that's right. There's a shift in the power. Yeah, man, United States don't, none of them abide, none of them abide by Geneva. All they talking about Geneva. What the hell is Geneva? They talking about the Geneva Convention. Ain't nobody goddamn going by no goddamn. And listen here, when it come to war, you do what you got to do to win. You see what I'm saying? You do what you got to do to goddamn win, especially when the odds is against you. When the odds is against you, you see what I'm saying? People ain't gonna abide by no damn laws. You see? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What it say? So they ain't going by no goddamn laws. You had to do what you had to do to goddamn. If you got to throw sand in their face, or and throw spit in their face, wait for them to wipe it out and bust them in, whatever you got to do. You see, it ain't a fair fight. They in the United States clearly said they don't fight fair. They say, what kind of shit is that? Why, who gonna fight fair? So you don't fight fair. That's how. And so that right there, see, I want y'all to listen to that. Black power, see, so they show you right there, they don't fight fair. So there it is right there. So that right there should be, when it also apply to you too, right here in Black America. Listen to Harris Self, what Harris Self said, that they do not fight fair. So they're right there, they're letting you know what all type of dirty tactics are they using on Black people in America right now, since they don't fight fair. Yeah, they doing all type of things, even against our own people right here in the United States of America. We got to understand that. We got to understand that. We got to get an agenda. We got to get back on nationalistic ideology. You see what I'm saying? Where we talking about what we going to do for ourselves. Letting on, because right now these peoples is out here trying to establish themselves as the supreme nation on the planet. You see, and they ready to they ready to war with any and everybody that they can, and to get in position to be that. They not about giving away no damn power, and that's what's wrong with people out here. They think power is something that can be given. Power is never given. Power is always taken. You can't give away. If don't nobody give away power, but some. You got to be mentally ill. Even the mentally ill don't do that. They'll give away power. You got to take power. You see what I'm saying? You had to be waiting in the wings for your time. And when you see your time, then you go in there and you seize power. Power is to be seized. And too many people think that they can beg their way into power and cry their way into power. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They gonna cry their way into power. You know what I'm saying? Power is never to be given away. It's to be expanded and maintain at by all means necessary. And that's what's wrong with our people. A lot of people think they're gonna give away. Somebody ain't gonna give away no power. Black people, the power is in our unity. You see, coming together and putting our minds together and getting ready to get it's starting right here in this nation right here. Don't mean we got to stay here, because we don't have to. A lot of people want to trap you here. You understand what I'm saying? But just like a river got a source and it got a mouth, it got all type of tributaries. You see, it got to branch out. You got, and you can't have no stagnated, y'all trying to become a stagnated lake, when a river free flowing is always fresh water coming down the river. Y'all want to be a stagnated lake trapped among, and that's what a lot of Black people all around the planet, that's what they want to do, because they in that tribalism. That's why they pick your ass off one by one. They know what to do. They know what to do to you. You see, they know you ain't got no fresh ideas. And so with a river and a free flowing river, and knowledge and wisdom and truth is flowing up and down the river, you expand, you get fresh water, you get fresh ideas. But too many of y'all going back to these stagnated ideas. It sound good until the shit hit the fan, and it will hit the fan, and you ain't got no out. You ain't got no back door you can run to. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got no family that you could call on in your time of need, because you done burnt every bridge in the world. And even when other people, you address that. You always address those that wanna try to backstab you and things. You have to deal with that. But at the same time, you got you got a feather in one hand and you got a hammer in the other. You see what I'm saying? And that which you can deal with, softly with just with dialogue and you do that. But that which you have to use the hammer, swing the sludge hammer and deal with it that way too. You see, but you got to be balanced. You have to have a balanced approach. You see, you say if you don't invest into accumulate as much of it as you in the new song, then you're going to be left behind financially. Yeah, yeah. Where they are moving into a new, they AI and they moving into, the digital dollar and everything else. And so, yeah, but you still got to play into that because at the end of the day, they can put it all together. It's still not going to beat ingenuity of the mind. You see, it's still not going to beat the ingenuity of the mind. And people think it is, but it ain't. You see, you'll never be, even if whatever you do to yourself, you ain't going to do nothing to creation. You could believe that. Creation going to be here. So you can think that's still when you look up and if you was to be, hover above the planet and you keep going up and up until the earth turn into a little ball. You see what I'm saying? Even what you saying is meant is so minuscule that it don't even matter because the only person you're gonna do it to is to yourself. But to creation, you ain't even a speck. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even a speck. And that's why we have to always think with the infinite mind and understand that what's so above, so below. You see, so within is also that is without. In out there in the cosmos, we are the cosmos made flesh. That's what we are, and we have forgotten our divinity. We thinking down here like these Neanderthals, but we got to go back to our divinity and understand that there's a divine responsibility that has been bestowed upon our people. You see what I'm saying? That we have forgotten. We down here trying to live the way of man, and we have forgotten our divine responsibility and destinies. And we don't even know our destiny. We still down here trying to play these games of man. You see, and so we got to wake up. FBI ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do. They don't even think. They don't even see themselves as African. They probably, if they try to do it, they probably go over there with them. You see what I'm saying? We gotta draw the line somewhere. You see, you know what I'm saying? You got to draw the line somewhere, and ain't no way at no how that we should at ever go against Mother Africa for no damn America. Yeah, yeah. Look at probably and knowing that the nigga and they gonna turn and get on your ass too. You know they ain't gonna do nothing. They already over here kicking on your ass. You know what I'm saying? They say they've been over here beating. Yeah, yeah. They've been over here beating on your ass for right here. FBA. Who you think they've been whooping? So how the hell they gonna do something for Africa and they can't even get the white man boot out their own damn ass? You see what I'm saying? They can't even get the white man. They so big, yeah. They so busy over here begging him for them dollars. He say, I think about it once I get my boot out your ass. That's what he said. He said, is you gonna give us some reparation, master? He said, I'll think about it once I get my boot out your ass. You see, so these niggas over here is in a state of confusion. They in a state of confusion. They wanna beef with everybody but the boss. You know what I'm saying? The man, the final boss that they need to deal with. You see, they want to go jump on. That's how these. Yeah. No, we ain't got it twisted. We ain't got it twisted. No, you got it twisted. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got it twisted. That's the problem. You think we got it twisted? No, Proud FDA. I see y'all there, man. You know you can't come to me with none of that garbage. You know, I done heard this shit all kind of ways. Mostly what y'all done rehashed everything you're talking about. You act like the ideals y'all niggas talking about is the first time. What you do is you take Pan-Africanist ideologies and then you strip it and then call it FBA. But those talking points have already been talked about, brother. Yeah, I know you is. I know you is, brother. I know you is. I know you're here for a reason. I'm just saying what it is. I'm just saying what it is. It's rehashed information, you know, and then y'all say FBI. No. We done already addressed that. That's why I put my little playlist together where I was even talking about, you know, all the land that Africa, you know, Africans owe black people in America reparation. I did videos like that 10 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Already addressing them issues. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, already addressing them, addressing them issues. So most of these issues that y'all talking about, the Pan-African community has addressed, and they haven't addressed it for nobody overseas. They addressed it for black people right here. So y'all got to wake up out of that you know, that y'all doing something new. Y'all just want to start, you know how niggas want to start them a new crew. You know how we do. We want to start us a new crew and, you know, and gang bang some more, you know what I'm saying? But for real, we already done said that all we had to do is do the work. You know, that's all we got to do the work. We talk good, we talk loud, do the work. And that's where we have a problem no matter what movement it is. It's about doing the work, because if you look at a lot of the talking points of a lot of the damn movements, it was enough in probably all the movements to get us further than where we at right now. But you know, it don't make no difference. You know, you don't get enough of them to move, you're gonna be right where you at. So you good at starting another group. Black people good at starting another group, but what they ain't good at is you know, seeing the plan all the way through. That's just what it is. Y'all can start some groups. Y'all good at that shit. You know what I'm saying? For real. Global African supremacy, man. Global. You see, black supremacy, however you want it, I ain't got no problem with it. But anyway, family, will the United States, yeah, appreciate you, family. You know, appreciate it. Will the United States leave NATO? They should, so we can keep some of that money over here, so we can get access to it, so we can do what we need to do for our people. I appreciate y'all, family. Get over there to Patreon. We ain't gonna talk long. I will be back before the night is out. We're gonna end up over on Patreon. We're gonna be talking about, do you have the slave trader gene in your blood? Everybody talking about we were sold into Africa. Well, some of them that sold us into Africa were sold themselves. So I wonder is that the reason why we still beefing over here right now? Because the slave trader and those who were sold into slavery is over here fighting the same war that we was fighting before we left Africa. So maybe we need to think about that. But anyway, family, get on over there. I appreciate y'all. You say here is a project to be 3 different. Yeah, we'll talk about that on a different level. Reparations, most definitely. We about that. Most definitely. See y'all in a minute, family. Black Power.